In today's episode of the Pathmark Presents podcast, I got a very interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Crissman, and she's hailing over from the folks over at Gravyty. She's a senior manager marketing for strategy and communications. And today we want to really deep dive into, what Gravyty is all about, and basically how and actually they say it on their website, right? How they provide an ecosystem of products to energize and mobilize your community, and that's what it's really all about. There's a lot of talks on community and community driven growth. Even on the podcast here, we got a lot of marketers tapping their toes into that. So today we want to really learn how Gravyty is thinking about that. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course, yeah. So Kara, give us a quick 360 overview. What is Gravyty all about in your own words?
Yeah, absolutely. So Gravyty is a leading provider of purpose-driven technology. So we work with, everyone from educational institutions, nonprofits, foundations, K-12 independent schools, all the way to corporations and healthcare organizations to, as you said, provide them with tools to engage their community and ultimately fundraise smarter and more efficiently. So we have an ecosystem of 6 solutions at the moment. And they all are exactly as you said, kind of around, community engagement and basically fundraising efficiency. So we make it easier for, modern organizations to kind of adapt to the times, and our tools really serve as an extension of their team. So some of the, the roles that our technology can support and kind of act as a member of their team. And the community engagement side, it's for things like higher ed and K-12 schools, it's all around kind of alumni engagement, career services, admissions and enrollment. We have a tool that's pretty big in the K-12 market for admissions and enrollment. It's kind of like a peer-to-peer connection tool. And then we have a suite, I should say, for fundraising enablement. So those tools really make it easier for organizations to kind of inspire and empower, their constituents, their donors to fundraise, more efficiently in today's world where everything's digital, everything's moving, fast paced, and it allows these teams to reach out to their donors, on an ongoing basis and at scale to again kind of fundraise more efficiently.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Now, who would you say? I mean, there seems to be various types of personas that can be using the product. Who would you say is sort of the champion typically for the product? Who is, raising the flag high? Is that a community manager, a community lead? Is that sort of an operations manager? Is that a customer success manager? Like, who's leveraging the platform?
Yeah, so we kind of bucket our products. It's not exactly, it's not a perfect bucket because our tools are great in the way that they can kind of be cross used together. We have a lot of clients that use, 2 or 3 of our products at a time, and they kind of do serve, different functions and different departments. So I would say our community and engagement ecosystem is suite is one of the bases that we serve, and that would be people like alumni relations department, people, professionals, career services, admissions and enrollment. And then on the side of non-education, so things like nonprofits or corporations, those might be departments like volunteer management, and other kind of, community engagement type functions. But then our fundraising suite might serve more roles like donor relations, stewardship, advancement, development, annual giving, more fundraising specific roles. So it really is kind of separate personas, depending on the solution, but we're definitely focusing a lot on kind of educating our prospects and clients about kind of the suite, of solutions that we offer and how it can kind of, it really is a full cycle. They do different things, but at the same time, it kind of all works together. You have to have an engaged, community to then solicit them, and steward them over time to where they want to give, ultimately, and be kind of your biggest ambassadors. So it really does all work together, but you're right in saying, there are a few different kind of personas and job titles, I guess, that would benefit from our different solutions.
Mhm. And how would you say, how do these people learn about Gravyty? Like, what's the journey that they're going through? How do they, find you guys? What's the channels, let's say, they're walking through?
Yeah, so word of mouth is actually pretty big for us. Surprisingly enough, again, we're, a tech company ultimately, and we definitely have a big digital presence. And I'll get to that, but I'll start with word of mouth because we really pride ourselves on building strong relationships with our clients. Like on a one-to-one kind of human basis, we really want to connect, as a person with our clients and not just as a prospect or a company that we're trying to steward, if you will. But so that really, we're finding that word of mouth, we'll hear all the time from prospects that have heard about us from industry peers, and they want to check us out because they had heard our name, or they heard a name of one of our solutions, and they thought that it could be something that would serve them well. So word of mouth is a pretty big channel for us to at least kind of get the foot in the door and have them want to explore more and go to our website. And then, yeah, so obviously there's, a digital presence that we have. So we have a website, gravyty.com, gravyty.com. And then we're on social media. So, we have LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube presence. And we're really focusing on our web presence. We're trying to build in resources. It's not just a marketing, website where we're giving product information, but we really build out, thought leadership resources like guides and blogs. And we do a ton of webinars with our clients. So kind of sharing those success stories and how our solutions can kind of empower, these organizations to, again, kind of engage their community and steward them. So that's pretty big in terms of our web presence. We don't want it to just be kind of a sales channel, but more so like building our brand name and kind of what we're all about through this thought leadership. And then along with that, people find us through things like industry events and publications. To kind of go along with that thought leadership, we want to get out, our message and our kind of education around not just our products, but why, what are the pain points that fundraisers today are feeling, or alumni relations departments are feeling. Things like the recession and the Great Resignation. We really try and hone in on, today's problems and what their pain points might be that they're feeling, and try and kind of connect the dots of how, using our technology could really fill that gap for them. So again, our placement and kind of these industry shows, we connect with other peers and with clients and prospects, and try and kind of, educate them that way through ongoing, media and thought leadership.
Okay, very good. Cool. So, based on what you said, right? What I'm curious about is how you're thinking about the website, right? Because it seems that a lot of the channels also involve the website by some way or the other. How do you think about it? What's the role of the website in your perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. The website, I mean, obviously the digital presence is near and dear to me, being a marketing, professional. I mean, that's the first place people go, to research your products. Like if we're being honest, in 2022, they might, hear about you through that word of mouth I was describing, but what's the first thing they're going to do when they hear about you and your products? Maybe verbally, they're going to go to Google, and type in your company name. Or if they haven't heard about you, they're going to type in, alumni relations platform or fundraising enablement tools, because they're in the market for something, and they're interested in, what tools could help them. So our website has to be kind of the face of that, and it has to tell at a glance, what do we do? What are we all about? Who can we help and how? So that's a big focus of ours. And our website is, we actually rebranded our company, name and kind of presence just in August of this year. So we are fully, focused on building out that brand story on our website, both from a product and kind of, strictly marketing presence, way where we're really trying to set that story of our ecosystem and what we do and how we serve these different functions. with our technology, but also through, again, resources on the website. We host all of our, webinars there. We have on-demand webinars. People can register for upcoming webinars and panels. And then, of course, we have more kind of visual resources like our blog and guides and case studies. So that plays a really big role in our website development as well, as just including some of that thought leadership. Obviously, it helps with SEO, to kind of be targeting these terms that people are searching for. So that's a big kind of practical driver. But again, it's kind of about that education and really kind of connecting the dots for people on the current day problems that they might be facing, and how ultimately connecting it back to our suites and our ecosystem.
No, makes a lot of sense, and very interesting to see how to sort of manage the website when you get that suite of products. That's super interesting. I would love to switch gears a little bit as we're slowly approaching the end of the interview. I would have some rapid fire questions. Are you ready for those?
I'm ready.
Okay, so what is the last book that you read?
Oh, the last book I read. I read a book called The Great Alone recently. It's a pretty long novel, but it's a great book. It's about kind of the wilds of Alaska. So
nice. What's one single thing that your company is focused on the most at the moment?
I would say we're very focused on, innovation. I'm sure all companies, especially tech companies, say that, but in a digital world, it's all about being agile and innovative, and really seeing, again, kind of what the market's doing, what your competitors are doing, keeping an eye on kind of the needs of today, and again, the pain points of your clients and who you're trying to reach. So I would say we're always trying to innovate and see what's next for our solutions.
If there would be no boundaries in technology, what's the one thing that you would fix for your role as a marketer?
Oh, that's a tough one. One thing I would fix. I would say it's important to, really something that we're focused on as a company, again, is kind of that like one-to-one human connection. And that's actually what our solutions do, as well as kind of help organizations reach their constituents and donors, really on like a personalized level, but at scale. We have a tool that utilizes AI as well for kind of email outreach and reaching people on a personal level using technology. So I would say being able to kind of connect, like I love having kind of face-to-face discussions as much as I can, even if it's over the computer. So kind of face-to-face and making that human connection with prospects, more often, just to kind of speak with them as a marketer. Our account management teams and client support teams do that all the time. But as a marketer, I would love to be able to do that as well, and just sit down and get to know, people who are working in the industry and that type of organization every day.
Very cool. And for the very last question, I'd basically like to do a little bit of time travel and head back with you to the days of Kent State University, if you allow, right? So you're heading out of formal education into the world of business and growth. What's the one advice you would give yourself for your journey as a marketer?
Yeah, so I guess on that note, it's kind of related where, I think I dove in right after Kent, dove into the professional world, kind of just trying to do my tasks, the best I could do, and kind of grow that way. And it worked to a point, but I do think, taking a step back and going more to the foundation of what we do as marketers and why is really to make people's lives easier. And ultimately, I remember hearing something early in my career that's always stuck with me, where it's not B2B, it's not, B2C, it's really P2P, like it's person to person. You're ultimately connecting with another person at the other end of that screen, or, at a trade show, like in the audience, you're connecting, with people, and we're all people. We all have lives, we all have families and houses and dogs and everything. So really like getting to know your company almost as a person, but also getting to know, who you're marketing to as people as well, and kind of what makes them tick, and going down that customer journey, like from their eyes.
Um, And it's been super interesting to learn more about Gravyty and your journey so I want to give you basically the very last word. If somebody would be forgetting all that we discussed about Gravyty, what's the one thing people should remember?
Yeah, I would say one thing that really stands out to me about Gravyty is how focused we are on our service and support. So it's not for us, it's not just selling you a product and then walking away. It's truly, and I mean this from someone who, is like fairly new to the company. I've been here about 4 months. That's one thing that really stood out to me right away is how we truly offer like a full service solution. We offer the technology, which is amazing in its own right, but we don't just walk away. We continue that relationship with you. We get to know you again that's kind of the theme of this, I guess, is getting to know you on a personal level. What are your pain points? Where do you want to go in the short term? Where does your organization want to go in the long term? What have you found that works well for you at this point? And where do you have like the biggest, room for growth and opportunity in kind of your organization's strategy, I guess. So we, on a client level, we have kind of a full service, support team, I would say. And then in terms of like technical support, obviously we have that available all the time, but that's one of the main things I think that differentiates us is our care and attention to you as a client.
Kara, thanks a lot for being a guest on Pathman Presents.
Yeah, thank you.